Slope, what it means, and its 4 flavors. Part 1 of 6 of 6 videos about slope. This is also part of the Family of Functions series. You may need graph paper. You can download this PDF and print it. And please press pause as needed anytime during this video. The word slope has many descriptions. Slope is a number, usually represented with a fraction, that tells how slanted a line is. Slope is also described as a rate of change, which we'll discuss later in this video. Slope occurs in what we might say 4 flavors. Lines that slant uphill from left to right are said to have a positive slope. The following lines have a positive slope. That is, the slant of each line is described with a positive number that's usually a fraction. Lines that slant downhill from left to right are said to have a negative slope. These lines have a negative slope. That is, the slant of each line is described with a negative number, usually a fraction. Lines that are horizontal are said to have a slope of 0, the number 0. These lines have a slope of 0. The slant of each line is described with the number 0, meaning it's horizontal. 0 can be written as a fraction in several different ways. Some of those examples include 0 over 1, 0 over 3, and so on. But not 0 over 0. Recall that that number is undefined. Division by 0 is undefined. There are 3 types of numbers, positive, negative, and 0, but there are 4 different ways that lines can slant. There's uphill, downhill, horizontal, and vertical. There are no numbers left, so the slope of any vertical line is said to be undefined, like dividing by 0 is undefined, or we say that a vertical line has no slope. Remember, 0 and no slope are different. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Vertical lines do not have slope at all. It's undefined. So let's do a quick review and self-assessment. Using the letters A, B, C, and D, which lines have a slope that is positive, 0, negative, and undefined? Go ahead and press pause as needed. Resume when you're ready. So line C slants uphill from left to right, so it has a positive slope. Line D is horizontal, so its slope is 0. Line B slants downhill from left to right, so its slope is negative. And line A is a vertical line, and it has no slope, or the slope is undefined. The concept of slope of a line has several interpretations. Here are some of those interpretations. Slope can be defined as the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. It's also sometimes described as rise over run. It's also described as change in y over change in x. Here are some abbreviations we use so that we don't write so much. The lowercase letter m is used to represent the word slope. So m is equal to the slope, which is equal to those ratios. The Greek letter delta, that looks like a triangle, is used in place of the phrase change in. So instead of writing the words change in, we could just write the Greek letter delta as we do here. Delta y over delta x is equivalent to change in y over change in x. We strongly urge you to write this extended equation in your notes and remember this. Press pause as needed. Resume when you're ready. It turns out that slope has some real-world interpretations. One is that slope is rate of change. And here's some examples of what we mean by rates of change. Miles per hour is a rate of change, miles per hour. Dollars per hour, for those of you who have a job, would understand that. Megabits per second. See if you recognize some common rates of change by their abbreviations. ppm. Pause as needed, resume when you're ready. ppm stands for parts per million. Second example, CFM. Pause as needed, resume when you're ready. And this would be cubic feet per minute. And the last one, GPF. Pause as needed, resume when you're ready. And that would be gallons per flush. So here's a summary of slope so far. Press pause as needed, resume when you're ready. Please read those over, make sure these start to make sense for you. Again, pause as needed. We encourage you to view video 2 about the slope next, which is calculate the slope of a line from a graph. If you need to pause, do so. Otherwise, this is the end of the video.